Hello and welcome to my channel. Today's video we are going to be making this cute little lazy bullfrog. I think he'd make a cute little keychain, like if you wanted to put a little keychain on him, or even just a loop of thread like this guy. Some people have even done my other video for this plush frog, which if you want to have a look at that, I will link down in the description. And they've used it as a cat toy. So I'm thinking, my daughter and son-in-law grew catnip last year, so they have a whole jar of that dried. You could stuff that inside. And then I'm also going to include a little version for a little strawberry frog. I'll probably just do this part because the rest will all be the same, and you guys can put your own little spots all over it. And this is a crochet along, so I will be doing every stitch with you, and if I do something strange or you get lost, there will be a little drop down at the beginning of each row with the pattern instructions for you to go back and follow along if you need to. And don't forget, if you enjoy my videos, make sure you hit the subscribe button. That really helps me out, as well as feel free to share the link to this video and make and sell as many as you want. Okay, I think that's everything. So grab your yarn and let's get started. Alright, so to begin, you're just going to make a knot with a loop on the end as if you were going to make a chain. You can also use your magic circle or any other chaining method you prefer. You're going to grab your yarn. Chain one, and that does not count as a stitch. That just attaches your yarn to your loop. So for round one, you're going to do 6 single crochets into the loop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Grab a stitch marker if you're using one. And for round 2, you're going to do 6 increases. So that's 2 single crochets in every stitch all the way around for a total of 12. So increase 1 and 2, increase 3 and 4, increase 5 and 6, increase 7 and 8, increase 9 and 10, increase 11 and 12. Row 3, you're going to do 1 single crochet and 1 increase. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 18. So 1, increase, 2 and 3, 4, increase 5 and 6, 7, increase, 8 and 9, 10, increase, 11 and 12, 13, increase, 14 and 15, 16 and increase, 17 and 18. Row 4, we're going to do the eyes, and we're going to start off with 2 single crochets and 1 increase, and we're going to do that 2 times. So 1, 2, and an increase, 3 and 4. And then we're going to repeat that one more time. 1, 2, and an increase, 3 and 4. Now we're going to do our little bump for our eyebrow. We're going to be doing a double crochet that we don't finish. So yarn over, in through the next stitch, grab your yarn, pull up and through, and you're going to have 3 stitches on your hook. Grab your yarn again and go through the first 2 and leave that 3rd stitch. Now we're going to do that 2 more times. Yarn over, down through, grab your yarn, pull up, go through the first 2 loops, leaving 3 loops on your hook. And one more time, because we're doing 3. Yarn over, down through that same stitch, up and through, grab your yarn, pull through the first 2 loops. You have 4 loops left on your hook. Now grab your yarn again and go through all 4 loops. And there's your first cluster of double crochets. Now go in your next stitch, you're going to do 1 single crochet, and you may have to pull that to keep it on the tighter side and push your bump up. Then you're going to do a increase, so 1 and 2 in the same stitch, and then you're going to do 1 single crochet, and now you're going to do your second eye. So yarn over, in through the next stitch, grab your yarn, up and through, grab your yarn, go through the first 2, and now repeat that 2 more times. So yarn over, in through that same stitch, grab your yarn, pull up, go through the first 2 loops, you have 3, yarn over, in that same stitch, grab your yarn, pull up, go through the first 2 loops, you now have 4 loops, and pull your yarn through all 4 loops. And there's your second eyeball. Now you're going to do an increase in the next stitch, pulling that tight if you need to. So 1 and 2. And now you're going to repeat your sequence from the beginning. You're going to do 2 single crochets and an increase twice. So 1, 2, increase, 3 and 4, and repeat that again. 1, excuse me, 2, and an increase, 3 and 4, and that should bring you right back around to your stitch marker. Row 5, you're going to do 3 single crochets and an increase. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 15. So 1, 2, 3, increase, 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8, increase, 9 and 10. When you go around the eye, make sure you're getting in all the stitches. 11, 12, 13, and an increase, 14 and 15, 16, 17, 18, and an increase, 19 and 20, 21, 22, 23, increase, 24 and 25, 26, 27, 28, and an increase, 29 and 30. Row 6, we're going to do the legs. And we're going to start with 2 single crochets. So 1 and 2. Leg 1, chain 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then you're going to go down into your 3rd chain from the hook. So this loop does not count as a stitch. This V is your 1st chain, 2nd chain, and 3rd chain. So you want to go down in this 3rd one, and we're just going to slip stitch. Then we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then we're going to slip stitch back down in that 3rd chain, and then we're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then slip stitch back down in that 3rd chain again. And now we're going to slip stitch down the leg. So 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then our next stitch, so that's where we chained up right here. So our next stitch over is where we're going to do continue, and we're going to do 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we're going to do our 2nd leg. So chain 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Find that 3rd chain from your hook. 1, 2, 3, slip stitch, chain 2, 1, 2, go back and slip stitch in that 3rd chain, chain 2, 1 and 2, and then go back and slip stitch in that 3rd chain. Now you're going to do your 7 slip stitches down the leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now you're going to do 12 single crochets across, starting in the next stitch from where you chained up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Now we're going to do our third leg. So chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Go down to your third chain from the hook and slip stitch. Chain 2, 1 and 2. Go back and slip stitch in that third chain. Chain 2, 1 and 2. And then slip stitch back in that third chain. And do your 7 slip stitches back down the leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now you're going to do 6 single crochets across, starting in the next stitch from where you chained up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now you're going to do your fourth leg, chain 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Slip stitch in that third stitch. Chain 2, 1, 2. Slip stitch in that third stitch. Chain 2, 1, 2, and slip stitch in that third stitch. And then your 7 slip stitches down the leg. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you should have 4 single crochets left. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I just realized this could actually be a little applique too if you wanted to slip stitch here and be done. Okay, for row 7, I just want to do one quick little explanation before I get going on that. So these legs do not actually count as a stitch. So if you'll see, you have 1, 2, and then there's nothing here where the leg is, and then this is 3, 4, 5, and so on. So when you're coming around this leg, you're going to start here. So 1, 2, and your next stitch is way over here on the other side of the leg. So you're behind that third stitch right there. So you're going to fold your leg down, go around your leg, and then into here. So I hope that makes sense. Let's just do it and see how it goes. Okay, so for row 7, you're going to do 3 single crochets and a decrease. Repeat that all the way around for a total of 24. So 1, 2, now you got to go around that leg and into this stitch right here. 3, and a decrease for 4. 5, 6, 7, around that leg and into this behind the next stitch, decrease for 8, 9, 10, 11, decrease for 12, 13, 14, 15, and a decrease for 16. Go around that leg. 17, 18, 19, and a decrease for 20, 21, go around that leg into the next stitch, 22, 23, and a decrease for 24. Okay, the next row we're going to be going in the back loops. So if you've never gone in the back loop before, the way you normally will go in a stitch is under these 2 V's. So if you're going in the front loop, you'd be going under the first part of the V's, down and up. And if you're going in the back loop, you go down between the V's and down and out. And what this is going to do is make this flatter so that your frog doesn't have like a round tummy and he'll sit flat on his tummy. Okay, so for row 8 in the back loops, you're going to do 2 single crochets and 1 decrease for a total of 18. So down through that V and out, 1, 2, and a decrease. Up for 3, 4, 5, and a decrease for 6. Remember to stay in those back loops. 7, 8, and a decrease for 9, 10, 11, and a decrease for 12, 13, 14, and a decrease for 15, 16, 17, and decrease for 18. Okay, we're going to put his eyes on now. If you're adding safety eyes, and I'm using number 8 safety eyes, 8mm. They don't have to be 8mm. You're just going to stick them just in that hole right where you made your cluster stitch. And on the other side, I kind of try and get around 1 chunk of yarn, just because that hole seems to be a bit bigger on this side. And you don't have to use the same size eyes as me. I just happen to I'm trying to evenly use up my eyes, so it's time to use some 8s, because I've been using a lot of 10s, 12s, and 14s. And then just click that on. And they are small eyes, so they could very easily come off. So remember that if you're worried about child safety. I would put a little note with these or something. And then just grab a little piece of black. Both my needles are wrecked, so hopefully this will pull through, but it's not pulling very hard, so it should be okay. So come up through the bottom, and I'm just coming just a stitch just below his eye on the inside, and obviously you can make this as big or as you want. I'm just going to be putting a short straight line, but I think he probably looked better with the big long mouth. And then you're just going to tie that in the back. A couple of times, making sure you don't pull so tight that you bring it in on the other side. And then if you want to put cheeks on, just grab some pink. And all I'm going to do is go 1 stitch over. So come out from inside, 1 stitch over just below the eye. And you can either go down or sideways. Just go around 1 stitch. Do that once or twice, and then go over to the matching stitch on the other side. And then just do the same thing, go around. And when you're happy with the amount, just come back down and out. And then again, just tie that in the back. Keeping in mind not to pull it too tight. We have 2 rows left, so I'm going to do 1 more row. We'll put some stuffing in and then finish him off. So for row 9, we're going to do 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, and repeat that around for a total of 12. So 1 decrease for 2, 3 decrease for 4, 5 decrease for 6, 7 decrease for 8, 9 decrease for 10, 11 and decrease for 12. So grab your stuffing. And it doesn't take too much. I'm going to get rid of this stitch marker. I like to put a little bit in the front. Puff that out a bit, and then put a little bit in the back. And then just decide if you need a little bit more or not. Remember that you want this part to be flat. I'm going to add just a touch more, I think. And also keep in mind, the more stuffing you add, the harder this last row is going to be. Okay, so for row 10, you're just going to do 6 decreases all the way around. And try not to catch that stuffing as you go. 1, 2, 3 decreases, 4 decreases, 5 decreases, and 6 decreases. Oops, I grabbed the stuffing a little bit there. And then just slip stitch in the next stitch. And then tie that off. And keep in mind what you're doing with this tail once you're done. Are you just closing it up? Are you going to bring it up and through to make a little loop to hang it on? So I always leave myself quite a bit extra, just in case. And then you're just going to weave your tail in and out. Oh, see, it came off. I shouldn't have pulled it that tight. Okay, so I have 1 in there. So just in and out. I'm just going through the front loop at the moment. And once you get all the way around, just give that a pull to close that up. And now, if you are like me and you tend to have decreases that show a lot of the stuffing through, you can also kind of find how your spirals wrap around and then just go through the top of each of those stitches. It's hard because I have this weird needle, but you just go around a few times like that. And I usually do all 6 stitches. Yeah, see, I can't do it with this needle. So I'll usually do all 6 stitches of my last row, and then if I need to, I'll do a little more. So see, it kind of pulls that in and around instead of being all messy like that. All right, for the speckled ones, I started at the top, just between his eyes, so like this, and I just went in and out, and then I went this way for these 2 and this one, and then I crossed back over and tried to match them up on the other side. For the strawberry one, I just started in the center and slowly spaced them around in the spiral. Kind of, if there's a stitch here, I'd put my next stitch here, and between these 2 I put this stitch. So just go around however you prefer, and I'm just going to do the first middle here. So come up through the bottom, somewhere close to the center between his eyes, leave a little bit on the bottom for tying off later, and then I just go around like this. And your stitches aren't always going to line up perfectly, so you just kind of have to kind of do it however you feel you want to. And then I'll come over here and start my next line of stitches. If I had a pointy needle, this would help a lot more. There we go. And they don't have to be in a line. They could go this way, however you want your little froggy to be. All right, so I'm just going to leave him there. And so that would be your last one if you're done like me, and then go to this side. You can get finished later, little dude. And now for this little top, all I did was a loop, and then I chained up 4 single or slip stitch, single crochet, and then slipped in the center, and just kept going till I was happy. I think another 1 or 2 might be better in that, but I will show you. So you make your knot with the loop, and then I just started with a chain of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I did, oh yeah, in the second chain I did a slip stitch, a slip stitch, and then in the last one I did a single crochet just to give it a bit of width. I don't know how much difference it made. And then I'll slip stitch back into my loop, and then I'm going to chain 4 again and make another little spiky leaf. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, and then another slip stitch in the next one, and then a single crochet in the last one. And just go around doing that same pattern until you're happy with how many you have. You could do longer ones and shorter ones. I feel like, so these fruit things, mostly the fruit cow that I've seen, are super popular, but why couldn't you do the yellow one and do short little ones, sew them on, and then you got your little citrus, you got your orange and your lemon. I don't know what you do for a grape. You could just call him a grape frog, I guess. Oh, maybe put a little stem on him. What else? Blueberry. So make these a little shorter and sew them down, and you got your little top. This guy could be a tomato. So many. If you do make them, I'd appreciate if you said inspired by this video or whatever, if you post them anywhere. So I hope you enjoyed making all these little frogs. I'd love to see them if you want to go visit my craft page, which is also linked in the description. Let's put them in order here. Red, yellow, blue. That's about order. You can go visit me there, and you can leave a photo in the comments under my YouTube share thing I have pinned at the top. You don't have to like it or follow it or anything. You can just go right on there and go into the comments. I do have a TikTok and an Instagram account, but they're very neglected, let's just say. So you can go visit me there, but I think I have maybe 4 things on there. I'm trying to do better with it, but... And of course, if you enjoy this video, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, and you will be notified every time I load a new video. I hope that's it. Sorry it's so long. Thank you for watching, and you guys have a great day.